And there, I'm done. I recline against my bed after finishing my studies. I don't have a shift tonight, so so I think I'll just relax. Maybe the lounge would be nice. It would be nice right now. I didn't really notice it until I moved to Unikicho, but it's hard for me to relax properly by myself, so I go to the lounge. And...
っていう仮装はどうかな?
Fuck. I was hoping to get snuggled by Mikuri.
いいんじゃねえの? あたしら獣人なんだしさ.
When I get to the lounge, I see Mikuri talking to Nana and the others. They're talking about costumes, so maybe I should wait before I go in. I take a look at the situation inside through a crack in the doorway, and Mikuri is going to spot you instantly.
でも危ないかもしれないね。だけどきっと似合うと思うからお母さんに聞いてみるね。
Okay, maybe not instantly.
お母さんの OK が出たらみくりちゃんの衣装作ってあげる。ありがとう。
It sounds like they're done with the current discussion, so I should be able to go in.
ところでナナちゃんといちかちゃんは恋って知ってる?
False alarm, false alarm. Stay back. Let's listen to what Mikuri has to say, because I'm sure as soon as she sees you walking out of your room, she's gonna run up to you and hug you, and she will never get an answer. What? I can't go in now.
知ってるに決まってんだろ? バカにしてんのか?
じゃあ恋って何か教えて。
ああ、それは。
知ってるなら教えられるんじゃないの?
Mikuri looks at Nana with innocent eyes, and Nana flinches under her gaze.
あれだ! すごい好きってことだ。
じゃあ私みんなに恋してるんだね。だってみんなのことすっごく好きだもん。
そうじゃねえよ。
ん？
そこで首をかしげるんじゃねえ。あ、いいか？恋ってのはだな。好きは好きなんだけど、もっと特別
な。ナナちゃん、本当は恋知らないんじゃない?
Don't worry, Mikuri. Maybe if you ask her this question after the second game, she might find out.
ムカつく！いちかちゃんは知ってる?
Now here's the thing, right? The reason I only realized that a lot of sound effects played originally is because they were pretty seamless, right? Especially because they were quieter, right? It's only because they're louder now that I realized that there were a lot of sound effects. Now in that instance, right, where they played the lion roaring sound effect over what Nana said, I don't know. I mean, I can't even replay it with the voice, with the sound effect, but yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, the line is short enough that it probably wasn't that destructive, right? So, yeah.
そうだね。とっても甘いものかな。好きな人のことを考えてるだけで幸せになったり、ちょっと優しくされただけでとっても嬉しくなったり。顔を見たり、名前を呼ばれたりするだけでも胸が熱くなって、でも時には苦しくなったりして。 れて語りすぎちゃったね。参考になったかな？甘い？チョコレートみたいな？それともケーキみたいな感じ？
Makuri stares blankly at Ichika's explanation. A troubled smile comes over Makuri's face. Ichika's
あく
face.
まで例えだからね。ふわふわした気持ちって言えばいいのかな？ふわふわ。じゃあ、いちかちゃんだ。うん、それは絶対に違うね。
Just like I did earlier, Nana and Ichika are having a hard time answering Makuri.
そんだけ聞くってことは、お前、恋してんのか？
わかんない。どう言えばいいのかな。やっぱり自分で体験してみないとダメなのかも。
If Makuri saw me now, she'd start asking me questions again. So I start to walk away.
ゆずきくん！
I don't know what you expected. What? Makuri opens the door as she calls out to me, as if she knew I was there the whole time. No, she didn't. She didn't know I was there the whole time. It's just she could smell who's on the other side of the door.
ねえねえ。恋って甘いの？
There may be some folks who think so.
おいこら、お前ずっと聞いてやがったのか。
さっきの聞かれてたんだ。ちょっと恥ずかしいな。
Okay, Ichika, you say that, but I don't think you're that embarrassed about it. With Makuri answering me and Nana glowering at me, I'm in no condition to try and relax. Once the customers in the terrace seats leave, can you please clear the tables?
As usual, I'm working at Satario. Even with Christmas coming up, we can't slack off on our day-to-day work. Welcome to Satario. Please have a seat. Can I take your order? Okay, one cappuccino and a piece of roll cake, no problem. I take their order down and get it to Nana. I clear some tables while I wait for the coffee to finish brewing.
外の片付け終わったよ。
Great, then... What? Before I had time to react, Makuri is already hugging me. She makes full body contact, and I'm surrounded by her softness. She's getting more bold. after that conversation. What are you doing?
ゆずきくん分を補充してるの。だって寂しかったんだもん。
That's kind of... listen, Makuri. That's kind of something you would only expect your girlfriend to say. So, you know... Even though all you did was go outside and clear the tables... to clear the tables...
寂しいものは寂しいの。
This is definitely not something we should be doing while we're on the clock. So I try to separate myself from Makuri in a panic. She's stronger than I thought. Perhaps it's because she's a beast folk, but she's stronger than she looks. I struggle with all of my strength, and I'm finally able to get out of Makuri's embrace.
まだチャージ中だったのに。
Not when you're on the clock, okay? Nana said you weren't supposed to cling to me, right?
どうしてもダメ？
No matter what. It's not right to just hug me or the others out of nowhere, you know?
はーい。
No. Don't try to guilt trip me, alright? Like I said, not when you're on the clock. Okay. If there's no one else around, you can hug me. Another example of a sound effect overlaying the voice, but I guess it's fine. The sad look on Bakuri's face was just too much for me. I don't want her hugging me for no reason, but I'd rather deal with it than see her look like that again.
甘やかすのは良くないと思いますけど。
I'm sorry, but also, like, isn't it natural for a human to coddle a dog or a pet? And Chieri's gaze is piercing right through me, especially Bakuri, because she acts the most like a dog out of all of the beast folk. Things are calm in the sitting area, so I'm going to wash some dishes.
逃げましたね。ありがとうございました。ねえねえ、ちえりちゃんは恋って何か知ってる？何ですかいきなり。お客様がいなくても仕事中ですよ。いいからちえりちゃん頭いいから知ってるんじゃない？頭の良し悪しは関係ない気がしますが、まあ恋といえばとっても好きってことじゃないでしょうか。それナナちゃんも言ってた。甘い恋もあると聞きます。いちかちゃんと同じだね。ごめん謝るから。だからもうちょっと教えて。
Listen, Makuri, you can ask her again after her route, but the problem is that I'm doing her route after yours, so you know you'll never get to ask. Oh, she'll never get to know.
好きと甘い以外でですか？ならドキドキするものだと思います。その人の近くにいるだけで胸が高鳴って緊張して嬉しくて、そんな感じなんじゃないですか？ねえ、そうなんだ。本当に分かってます？どうだろう。やっぱり分かってないじゃないですか。
I finish with the dishes, dry my hands off, and sterilize them. What are you two talking about?
恋のなんでもないです。みくりさんが仕事で質問があるから答えただけです。どうして嘘ついたの？だって恥ずかしいじゃないですか、恋の話なんて。そうなの？そうです。もうみくりさんはデリカシーないんですから。
I can't quite hear what they're saying, but Chieri looks like she's embarrassed and wants to get back to work.
おーい、クリスマスフェスの試作品ができたらしいから誰かスイートテールに取りに行ってくれ。
You can't go, Nana?
私はパス。イチカならともかく私が行ったらパティシエ連中に睨まれる。
身代わりじゃないですかそれ。
あいつらイチカの頼みなら喜んで何でもするんだぜ。鼻の下伸ばしやがって。
気持ちはわかりますね。どうせ言うことを聞くならナナ先輩よりイチカ先輩の方がいいです。
Yeah?
んだとこら。
What are you implying, Chieri? Chieri can be pretty harsh with Nana. Is it because they're both cats? Yeah, that shows a kind of trust between them. Between them, though. It might just be how Chieri displays her affection.
ま、そういうわけでお前らが言ってくれ。つか、私が抜けたらドリンクメニュー作れないしな。
じゃあじゃんけんで決めよう。最初はグー、じゃんけん。
That was a pretty harrowing experience. They didn't glare at us, but there was definitely a unique kind of tension in Sweet's Tail's kitchen. I understand why Nana didn't want to go.
この中にシュネなんとかが入ってるの？
I think it's called a Schneebel. Schneebel? I don't know how to pronounce it. It supposedly means snowball in German. You can enjoy them at any time of the year now, but originally it was only something eaten during Christmas, weddings, and other major events. There's some stolen and other things in here as well. The paper bag they gave us is pretty heavy, so it was a good decision for both of us to come get the stuff together. All of us are going to try the various sweets. Then we're going to decide what the Christmas menu will be. Christmas, huh? Baseball, huh? Never mind. We just passed through the town square and saw people already preparing for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, the town square will also be decorated in Christmas style. In Christmas style? I guess that works. Grammatically, I mean. I'm looking forward to seeing it all. I wonder what kind of costume Mikuri is going to wear.
ねえ、恋って何？
Why are you asking him? This is a question that she's asked numerous times recently. Mikuri has casually asked about it a lot, but I still haven't been able to give a proper answer. I think it's hard to put into words. Are you really that interested in it?
だってゆずきくんともっと楽しいことしたいもん。恋をすればもっと楽しいことできるんでしょ？恋人になったらもっと仲良くなれるんだよね。だから恋を教えて。
So why are you asking the guy that is the best candidate to be your romantic partner what being in love is? I can't really put it into words. It's a kind of happiness, but I don't think it's one that I've felt yet myself, so I can't really express it. But after what she just said, I have to give her a real answer, no matter how awkward it sounds. I'm not really sure, but if I have to say something, I'd say it's when your heart is racing. It's not just loving someone, but feeling happy when you think about that person, but also uneasy sometimes. It might be something like that. I'm sure that she's going to want more detailed information, so I prepare myself. But Mikuri looks like she's accepted this for some reason.
やっぱりそうなんだ。ちえりちゃんもね、言ってたの。ドキドキするのが恋だって。近くにいるだけで胸が高鳴って緊張して嬉しくなるんだって。試してみてもいい？
Sure. I nod, and with the bag full of sweets still in hand, she pulls me into an embrace. It's not her usual sudden hug, but a little more gradual.
ねへへ。ぎゅー。
Mikuri seems happy as she clings tightly to me. Thanks to the December cold, I feel her warmth even more than normal. I can feel it spread across my chilled body, but it's so hot that it seems like it might just burn me.
スリスリ。やっぱりゆずきくん好き。
That kind of tickles. This is the same as always. It's like I'm her favorite body pillow.
ゆずきくん、ドキドキしてるかな？
But then Mikuri puts one of her dog ears to my chest and listens to my heartbeat. I can feel a soft ear through my clothes, and it feels nice. Can you hear my heart? Am I alive? That's not what you should be asking.
うん。ゆずきくんの胸の音聞こえてる。ちゃんと生きてるよ。
I don't normally think that much about my own heartbeat. But now that I'm paying attention to it, I can feel my own heart going thump thump.
あ、ゆずきくん、ドキドキしてる。
Yeah,
ゆずきくんの音。
with her face buried in my chest, perhaps acting on instinct, she puts more force into her arms and squeezes me even tighter. McCreary's hugged me countless times up until this point, but never so intensely before. The more I feel her warmth, the more my heart beats harder and faster. McCreary quietly and intently listens to my heartbeat. That's the first time I've seen McCreary speechless. And I think it's the first time I've seen this expression on her face. McCreary's breasts are touching me. McCreary's large breasts press against my body, and I can feel how soft they are. This is not the time to be commenting on her tits, alright? I feel like I'm becoming aware of McCreary as a woman. Are you sure you weren't aware of her as a woman when you saw her naked? I don't know, but that probably would have been the first time around I would have recognized her as a woman. I mean, at the very least, right? The real answer is, like, from the beginning, but still. At the same time, I realize that something other than my heart is getting excited.
この音、私も変になりそう。
Is your heart racing too, McCreary? The heartbeat I feel from McCreary is so fast, it's like our hearts are racing each other. Thump, 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 thump. How echoing hearts say more than words could ever express.
私、ドキドキしてるの？ドキドキして、これ、恋なの？
Well, are you satisfied? Breaking off our hug abruptly, McCreary moves away from me in a panic. Do you understand what being in love is now? Do you understand being in love now?
やっぱりよくわかんないな。お仕事中にこんなことしてたら、ナナちゃんやちえりちゃんに怒られちゃうよね。ほら、早くセタリアに帰ろう。
Wait, you're too fast, McCreary. McCreary is truly fast when she puts her mind to it. So I have to work hard to catch up. Okay. Fucker.
んじゃ、早速食会と行くか。
Right on top of the dishes, the sweets that we brought back. The schneeball covered in white powdered sugar. It really does look like a snowball. I fucking hate you. Lebkuchen? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you making me say these words? It's a kind of spice cookie that isn't very common in Japan. You think? I don't think Japanese people know how to pronounce this word. Unless they're taught how to. It'd be like, I mean, I'd have to base it off of how it's actually pronounced, but it'd be like lebu kuchen or something. Lebu, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll tell me what it is, but they've never fucking brought up the word before. So, various countries have sweets that are similar but differ in name, ingredients, and recipes. So I've heard from Nana and Cherry, Like vanilla Kipferl and mince pie, which are from Germany and England respectively. Meat. It's a British meat pie, or meat. I said it in an Australian accent. Never mind. Also Australian. All right. We have a whole culture of savory pies. And see, here's the funny thing, right? I've always been raised on that culture, right? On that cuisine, right? Of meat pies. It was only after, like, however many fucking years that I only realized that Americans only thought of pie as a dessert. Right? Meanwhile, I'm over here never thinking of pie as a dessert except for like the occasional time we went to Coles and got like a fucking frozen like mixed berry pie or something similar, right?
こんなに食べたら太っちゃいそうだけど仕方ないね。
Don't worry, it'll go to your tits. That's the stereotype, right? Except that never mind. You didn't hear me say anything, but actually, you know what? It's fine because I only need to worry about it in the second game.
本当はたくさん食べる口実ができてゆるくんでるくせに。
I'm sure Ichika doesn't need to worry about her weight. All right. Actually, no. Listen, right? Because there's always at least one girl in these visual novels that can eat as much food as she fucking wants and can never get fat. Most of the time, it's a character like Mikuri. Alright, Ichika and Nana aren't, you know, they don't have the personality of a extremely fast metabolism.
バレちゃった？みんな食べて気がついたことがあったら教えてね。
But what I will say is I wouldn't be surprised if beast folk inherently have a faster metabolism than humans, right? Because here's the thing. Their bodies are still mostly inherently human, right? In shape and structure, in everything, right? Except for ears and tails. But they are much more physically... They are physically fitter. They are physically stronger in every aspect compared to a human, right? So, of course, even though Ichika and Nana look as dainty as they do, right? Their calorie intake should match up with someone who lifts like who goes to the gym every day and their max rep is like, I was gonna say 300 kilos, right? So, you know, enough coffee is brought for everyone, and then we begin to try the sweets out. But then again, I don't think Cabbage Soft thought that deeply about the anatomy of a beast folk. I think they just made Kimono Mimi and call it a day, and then added a sprinkle of interesting things that differentiated humans from beast folk, apart from the ears and tails.
みくりさん、食べないんですか？もちろん食べるよ。
Mikuri would normally jump at the chance to eat first, but she seems worried and distracted right now. I'm not that hungry either, though.
どうした？元気ねえな。いつもなら人の分まで食うのに。
Like I said, Mikuri is the type of character that would eat a shit ton of food without gaining any weight.
私そんなに食いしん坊じゃないよ。前にソーセージ3本食べてたのはどこの誰ですか？
Oh, right. I guess I could have gone back to that example. Listen, I forgot, alright?
そんなことあったかな？
Mikuri smiles in an attempt to evade the question, which is unlike her. And my mind wanders for a moment, and my eyes unconsciously look over at Mikuri. The moment our eyes meet, we both avert our faces. This kind of thing has never happened before. Now I can't even meet Mikuri's eyes.
二人とも何かあったの？
Listen. You know, this is a unique situation. Actually, no. Okay, let me just say it right now. Let me say what I was gonna say before I retracted it. This is a unique situation where, okay, it is already established that Mikuri is very interested in wanting to know what being in love is. She asked literally every character in this room what it is. Now, she is displaying certain traits that have been told to her by Ichika, Nana, and Chieri that show up in a person who is in love, right? I don't think I said it in the right way, but you get what I mean. So, what I'm trying to say is, this is a unique situation where Chieri, Ichika, and Nana are dense, right? It's usually only the protagonist that's dense, and maybe the ditzy girl that ends up with the main character being dense. But you know, she has a reason for being dense, right? She was a sheltered kid who never grew up knowing what love was. But in this instance, Ichika, Nana, and Chieri are also being a bit dense because they aren't picking up on the stuff they mentioned to her about what being in love is. Right? And the big reason why it's a unique situation is because the kind of the kind of character Mikuri is, they don't really ask this much about what love is. You know what I mean? Right? Like they might bring it up once or twice with like a person, but never the entire cast. What is essentially the entire cast, including the person that she will eventually end up with.
何もないよ。
Yes, that's right. Nothing happened, really.
そっか、何もなかったか。
This is why I retracted the statement, because it was kind of a bit too early for me to say that they're being dense. Because it's only been like a few minutes before, it was only like a few seconds before they noticed Mikuri acting a bit weird. Maybe don't look at my mouse. There wasn't a mouse there.
ってなわけねえだろ。ふーん、なるほど、そういうことか。
Like, I know why I had this thought. It was literally 3 lines before they brought it up.
みくりちゃん、ちゃんとわかったみたいだね。
No, it's just... Their fucking smug ass faces. Nana and Ichika both nod their heads in unison, as if they both just figured out they both just figured something out. Nana is smoking while Ichika smiles warmly. This feels it feels stifling in here. I take a sip of coffee to distract myself, and that's when I realize that I forgot to put sugar in the espresso. But right now, its strong bitter flavor doesn't bother me.
皆さん何してるんですか？これも仕事なんですから、ちゃんと味見してください。
See, Chieri's being a bit dense, right? She is kind of too focused on rating the sweets to notice that Mikuri is kind of acting differently.
ごめん。クリスマスフェスのメニューを決めないといけないもんね。そうだね。あはははは。
Ahaha. Chieri is the only one who's her usual self right now. Both Mikuri and I are grateful for it.
シュネーバ
ガルは初めて食べましたが、見た目ほど甘くないんですね。意外と素朴な感じです。
Crunch, crunch. You don't see that. I just noticed my mouse again. Chieri delicately holds one schneeball in hand, taking small bites out of each one. It makes her look like a small animal, like a hamster chewing on sunflower seeds. Even though she's actually a cat beast folk.
ちえりちゃん、かわいい。可愛くないです。いいからみくりさんも食べて感想を言ってください。
Listen, for Makuri to start acting normal again, she needs to think about how cute Chieri is instead of thinking about how much she might be very much into Yuzuki. Thanks to Chieri, Mikuri goes back to her old self a little. My appetite returns too, and I help with praising the sweets alongside everyone else.
Amairo chocolate!
Time passes quickly, and before I know it, it's the day before Christmas Eve. Thanks to the patissiere at Sweet's Tale, we're close to being finished with our preparations for the Christmas festival.
雨宮みくり、入ります。
I'm already in the shop when Mikuri arrives, and the instant that she sees me, her shoulders twitch. Before, she would have hugged me, but now...
ゆずきくん、お疲れ。
Yeah, let's do our best today. She greets me as if nothing has happened, and heads into work as normal. She's been like this since that conversation, and she hasn't hugged me at all. She's normal when we talk, but it feels like there's something that she can't put into words.
お店余裕あるので、チラシ配ってきますね。
Okay, take care. If anything happens, contact us. Chieri picks up the flyers and we got printed for Christmas and heads for the door. But she stops short just as her hand reaches for the doorknob.
大丈夫ですか？
What?
最近、みくりさんの様子が少しおかしいです。白川さんに抱きつかなくなったし、何かあったんですか？私にも抱きついてこないですし。
So Chieri has noticed too. Well, after all those hug attempts, of course she'd notice. I guess. But you don't have to worry, Chieri. It's not like anything bad has happened.
そう言うなら信じます。では行ってきます。
She'll believe me, she says. It makes me happy to hear her say that, since she originally mistrusted me. Okay, I need to do my own work too. I go to clear the table now that the customers have left, and when I reach for an empty cup, Mikuri reaches for it at the same time and our fingers touch. Both Mikuri and I pull our hands back in a fluster. I'm sorry, I'll go restock the cutlery.
こっちこそごめんね。
Mikuri would have come and hugged me with a smile on her face before, but now she blushes suddenly when our fingers touch. But I'm in a similar position. Being hugged didn't feel nearly as embarrassing as this. At this rate, will we be able to go to the town square? The promise I made to Mikuri at the beginning of December. I don't think that she's forgotten, but at this rate, I feel like it won't be much fun for her to go together with me. As closing time approaches, the number of customers continues to decrease. Chieri comes back having finished handing out flyers.
ゆずきさん、スイートテールに行って明日の分のお菓子取ってきてもらえませんか？
Sure, no problem.
あとこれも。
Chocolate potato chips.
ナナちゃん、これ好きなの。今頃すごく頑張ってると思うから差し入れにね。
I can imagine Nana complaining about work, shouting, "Damn it," as she fries up some schneeballs. I wouldn't mind helping if it was just going to be for us. But I'm not at the point where I can make things for the customers to eat. Then I'll go before it gets too late.
ちょっと待ってください。一人じゃ大変だから。みくりちゃん、一緒に行ってくれる？
Okay, Ichika, I know exactly what you're trying to do, alright? Mad respect. But listen. Actually, you know what? No, this is probably for the best. I was gonna say let them sort it out themselves, but you know, Yuzuki's too dense and Mikuri's too naive, so like I don't think they're gonna talk it out anytime soon. In the instant Ichika mentions her, Mikuri's eyes go a little wide. I don't say anything, but I'm kind of surprised too.
それなら私が行きますよ。
No. It has to only be Mikuri and Yuzuki, alright?
ちえりちゃんはチラシ配り頑張ってくれたから休んでて。どう？みくりちゃん、お願いできるかな？
That's a good excuse, Ichika. You know, Chieri, you're too tired because of your handing out of flyers, you know?
大丈夫。ありがとう。
I can't keep the conversation going. What conversation? All too conscious of the fact that we're alone together, we try to cover our nervousness by laughing. My heartbeat speeds up just from looking at Mikuri's face. My breath catches and my chest feels so tight that it could cave in on itself.
クリスマスって大変なんだね。
Yeah, it is. But more than that, hearing Mikuri's voice also sends my heart soaring. It's a fluffy feeling of elation. My heart beats to its own rhythm, as if it were dancing. The feelings swelling up inside of me struggle against my nervousness.
とりあえず行こっか。
Yeah. This is no good. I need to talk to her. At any rate, I want to talk to her. I need to figure out how to tell her. I need to say something. See, here's the thing, right? Even in this situation, all he's thinking about is wanting to talk to her. Alright? He hasn't gathered he doesn't have the balls to do it yet. But if they were still only at the cafe and doing whatever the fuck, right? There wouldn't be a reason for him to. I don't know what to say. There would be too many excuses, right? Let's go with that. There would be too many excuses if they were only working together, right? At the cafe, for him to just not bring up that they need to talk, or think about that they need to talk.
Oh, 来たな。待ってたぜ。
I wasn't able to say anything.
なにしけた面してんだよ。くたくたなのはこっちだっての。
I'm sorry. Here you go. This is from Ichigo.
お、さすがイチカ、わかってるじゃねえか。
Nana's demeanor improves the instant she sees the gift from Ichika. As you'd expect from a childhood friend, she really does know her well.
んじゃ、こっちはまだ厨房手伝わねえといけねえから、さっさと持って帰ってくれ。
Okay, got it. I'll take that paper bag, Mikuri. Mikuri, can you take this one? Mikuri tries to answer energetically, but she ends up sounding awkward. When I go to hand her the bag of sweets, she takes it timidly, trying to keep our hands from touching.
ふーん。
Don't worry about it.
ナナちゃん、また足。
それ。
なんか、
What are you? I don't know how that sound would. She suddenly shoved something into our mouths. What in the world did she even? Huh? It's a sweet.
とりあえずこれだけ食ってけ。
There's a sweet buttery aroma, the taste of flour and a crunchy texture. The taste of flour. Okay, it seems like a cookie of some sort. It's not intensely sweet, but I like its light and simple flavor.
おいしい。
当たり前だろ。私が焼いたんだ。種作ったのはイチカだけどな。
What's the name of the sweet?
余った生地を適当に焼いただけだ。だから名前はねえ。
Nana chuckles as she crunches down on the same kind of cookie that she just fed us.
らしくねえぞ。お前らもっとのほほんとしてんじゃねえか。
Are we?
照れんな。褒めて言ってんじゃねえ。
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that was an awkward misunderstanding.
ゆずきもみくりもいつもゆるゆるしてんだろ。ちょっとはいつものお前らに戻ってみたらどうだ。
そうかな。そんなにゆるゆるしてる？
してるしてる。お前ら二人とも私に比べたらどんくさいったらありゃしねえ。
なんか納得いかない。
Dimwits is a good way to put it, alright? I admit I can be slow sometimes. A lot of times. But it did have to go that... but did you have to go that far?
まあ、私が言いたいのはそんだけだ。んじゃ、さっさと持って帰れ。
Oops. But it was kind of perfectly timed, except that it wasn't. With our bags in hand, Mikuri and I are shooed out of the shop by Nana.
ナナちゃん、何がしたかったんだろう。
Yeah, I wonder. Who knows? Mikuri tilts her head to one side, still looking slightly troubled at not being able to figure out Nana's intentions. I don't really understand either, but regardless, I feel a little less tense now. A little while after leaving Sweet's Tale, we come up to the town square. Tomorrow, this area is going to be, this area is going to be wall-to-wall Christmas. Yeah, there's a reason I was confused by the sentence. Tomorrow, I want to see Mikuri's costume. I want to spend time with Mikuri. Spend Christmas with her. That's why I have to say something. I don't have to spell it all out. I could just drop a hint. As long as I say something. Mikuri. Her dog ears perk up when I call her name. She turns toward me slowly and cautiously. You know, say anything, but say something. The weather's nice, huh?
もう夜だよ。
Yeah, it is. Anything wasn't good enough. But I can't stop now. This is probably my last chance. If I let this go, I feel like our promise to each other will end up going unfulfilled. That's why I have to say it. Nana said to be more like... Nana said to be more like we were before. The old me would... I'm embarrassed.
恥ずかしい
When I let that slip out, Mikuri's eyes get a little rounder in surprise. Yeah, when I'm with you, I get really self-conscious. Just looking at your face, just touching your hand with mine makes me feel all shy.
私も
Now that I'm speaking my mind, I'm able to smile just a little bit. Her perked up ears have relaxed slightly, so maybe she's feeling less tense now too.
ゆずきくんといるだけで恥ずかしくなっちゃって。ごめんね。最近変だったよね。
No, it's not your fault. I'm the one who should apologize. Awkward, embarrassed. Just saying something as simple as that makes me feel like we've closed the gap somewhat. Back then, my heart was really racing.
私もドキドキしました。
Mikuri looks over at me, then averts her gaze, then quickly glances back. I want to tell you what it felt like, but I'm honestly not sure how to put it into words. But I know I didn't dislike it. My heart was going so fast. Was it from happiness? Yeah, it probably was. If it's hard to answer, you don't have to, but how do you feel, Mikuri? When you hugged me back then, did you dislike how it felt? What do I do if she says she didn't like it? I don't think she'll say that. She probably won't, but still, I wait for Mikuri's answer with an uneasy feeling in my chest.
私も嫌じゃなかった。ドキドキして、ちょっとだけ苦しかったけど、嫌じゃなかったよ。
Oops. I'm glad to hear that. So we don't hate each other then.
そっか。嫌いじゃないんだ。ゆずきくん、私のこと嫌いじゃないんだ。
I didn't realize it until now, but being able to confirm that takes a load off my mind. I think about what the opposite of hate is, and I feel pathetic all over again not being able to say it until now. I should have been more clear about it before, but I've never been in love before, so I didn't really understand.
そうなの？
Oh, didn't I mention that?
ゆずきくん物知りだから、てっきり恋したことあるのかと思ってた。
No, never. I was able to answer your question. I wasn't able to answer your question at all, right?
へえ、そうなんだ。
For some reason, she seems happy to hear that I've never been in love before. Looking at her pleasantly surprised expression somehow calms me down a bit.
じゃあ、私と同じなんだね。恋の初心者。英語だと、ビギナーだっけ？
That's right. I'm glad to remember that from when I taught you. Mikuri is a beach folk who left her homeland, as well as a shrine maiden who can hear the voices of the gods. On the other hand, there's me, a normal human. There isn't much we have in common, so it's nice when we find something that we do share. Oh, the ears hiding doesn't work on me, so I guess I'm not completely normal. The ears hiding doesn't work on me, so I guess I'm not a completely normal human. What? Whatever. In this case, I'm not going to sweat the small stuff.
私もね、恋してるのか、まだわからないんだ。だから、また確かめてもいい？
Yeah, I'll help you as much as you want.
よろしくお願いします。
I put the most important part off until later, but it'll be fine. I'm sure that I'll get the chance to confirm that later. We're both pretty carefree, so it's all good. Do you remember our Christmas promise?
忘れるわけないよ。 ちゃんと仮装も用意してもらったんだから。
I can't help but be happy at hearing her say that saying that so definitively. I don't know what the rest of her species is like, but I feel like this straightforward affection is very Makuri.
でもよかった。このままだとクリスマス一緒に行けないかと思ってた。
So you were thinking the same thing?
微妙な雰囲気だったからね。
We both grimace as we recognize how awkward we were. But I'm glad we were able to talk like this now. Let's go together tomorrow. And now it's Christmas Eve.
いらっしゃいませ。こちらのお席へどうぞ。確認いたします。クリスマスプレート、キリマンジャロ、ホットココア。以上ですね。かしこまりました。
A cup of Kilimanjaro. It's definitely a unique name for a coffee.
お待たせしました。クリスマスカップルプレートとカフェマキアート、エスプレッソです。
コーヒーできました。ゆずきさん、お願いします。
Satari is usually slower paced than this, but today it's practically packed. And we'll have to keep moving.
交代で休憩取るから、ののちゃん休憩入っちゃって。ホールも一人休憩ね。じゃあ、ちえりちゃんから。私は後からでも大丈夫です。年下だからって気を使ってるわけじゃないよ。どうせ交代なんだから気にせず休んできて。わかりました。
The two staff selected by the acting manager head to the break room.
こっちは楽できると思ったが、スイートテールほどじゃないにしろ、なかなかだな。
最初の一言は余計だと思いますよ。
It might be because she's tired, but her long tail seems kind of droopy. Ichika is definitely working hard for the sake of her friends.
クリスマスプレートの反応はどうかな。
Pretty well, I think. It looks like it was a good idea to make the Schneebel smaller. As a result of our tasting party, the Christmas platter is a small Schneebel, Lebkuchen, and cut up Stollen. According to Nana, it's a very German-infused lineup. Alright, I listen, I wasn't gonna do this. But this game made me say it fucking twice. So, I gave up and looked up the pronunciations of those three words. The only one I got right is Stollen. Alright? Schneebel, I put too much emphasis on ball. Alright? It's a more softer sounding bull, right? Schneebel. And then Lebkuchen is the most fucked up. Because, okay, the first two syllables, right? Lebku are alright. But Chen is pen. Right? Not like a CH turned into a K, Ken, right? It's not Lebku Ken, but it's more back of the throaty sounding with Ken. And now I understand why they've said Schneebel and Stollen, but the characters still haven't said Lebkuchen. Lebkuchen. I still don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but that's a more accurate way to say it. But fuck you. for making me have to say it again.
いちかちゃん、あれの時間だよ。あ、そうだったね。
And Mikuri pushes a service cart out into the middle of the shop. She takes the dome lid off of the dish it was covering, revealing a half sphere of darkly colored food. It's a dessert that isn't widely known in Japan, a British cake known as a Christmas pudding.
私も火をつけるのやってみたかったのに。ごめんね。でも怪我したりするといけないから。もしかしたら来年もやるかもしれないから、その時はお願いするね。
After using fire is considered hazardous, so Ichika and Nana are in charge of lighting it. Ichika moves the lighter toward the pre-warmed brandy and
ご注目ください。
the brandy ignites and flames cover the entire dish. Desk. I was about to say desk. The Christmas pudding is enveloped in blue flame.
うわー
Okay, I was gonna say this is one of those instances where it's similar to whenever you go to the beach and the only thing you can hear are the sound of the waves of the character's voice. It wasn't as bad here, right? The only time it was over my voice, but that's fine. I already talk louder than the characters, so the surprised voices echo throughout the shop when the flames rise up. Maybe, I don't know. It's like maybe the sound of the flames was on a timer, and because I took so long, it stopped before Mikuri talked. But the timing was a bit too perfect for it to not be just that the sound effect stops when Mikuri speaks. On Mikuri's line. For today's Christmas festival, we flambe a pudding in front of the customers at a predetermined time, then cut it up and serve it to them.
見とれてないで働いてください。
Did I say the other thing? Yeah, surprised voices echo throughout the shop when the flames rise up.
あれちえりちゃん休憩中じゃなかった？ちえりちゃんもフラッペ見に来たの？
Flambe.
そんなわけないじゃないですか。
Wait. Yeah, the frappe.
素直じゃないんだから。だから違いますってば。あとフラッペじゃなくてフランベです。フラッペだと凍っちゃいますよ。
It's also has nothing to do with fire.
よかったらどうぞ。サービスです。
Ichika and I cut the Christmas pudding up into smaller pieces, which we distribute to each customer's table. The pudding, flavored with brandy, seems to be popular with the older customers. I wonder why.
私も食べたい。
See, in this situation, right? You know, a brandy flavored Christmas pudding should be fine to serve to kids, right? There's still a risk to it, but the reason you'd flambe it is to essentially burn off any of the alcohol, right? And you're left with the brandy flavor.
試食ならしたじゃないですか。ほら、そろそろみくりさんの休憩の時間ですよ。
And you know, the only reason they did that instead of getting like a brandy flavoring thing for the Christmas pudding is you know, it's a spectacle thing. Sataria's first Christmas festival continues right up until closing time, and we end the day on a successful note.